It's this week's Crisis Confessionals, and I'm wondering, do you ever feel like you're trapped in a dark tunnel and wonder if you'll ever get out? Well, maybe you're exactly where you're meant to be. Hey, this is Francisca, and this is my mid-crisis life. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about expansion and contraction. So, what do I want to say about it? So, I called this channel my mid-crisis life, right? Because essentially, we all talk about that midlife crisis, that thing that happens when you get to the middle of your life, whenever that might be, right? Where we start looking back and thinking about who we could have been and, our own fear of mortality kicks in and, God, I haven't got enough time to be everything that I thought that I could be, and all this wasted potential. And people kind of go off the rails a little bit at this age, and they start an affair with a 20-year-old, and they go out and they buy themselves a Ferrari, or I don't know, get a boob job, or whatever the fuck it is that people do, right? Or just have a complete breakdown. Just have a complete breakdown and throw their entire life away. Yeah, quit their job and move to Costa Rica. Some people do that. I don't know, right? But I think the reason I called this my mid-crisis life is because I don't think that this crisis, this crisis of consciousness, this crisis of age and mortality happens just at this one time in our life. I think actually that we're constantly and continuously in some facing, not in crisis, catch myself there, facing some kind of crisis, some mini or massive crisis. So there's all of these crises that are happening, right? And it's really about how you process each one of them as they come up. And it's really about understanding, what is this crisis? Yes, it's happening in this moment of time. Yes, it's happening in this particular area of my life, right? But what the commonalities between this and other crises that I've had up until this point? Can I group them? Can I put them into some kind of taxonomy so I can understand, okay, my main issues are about this thing, and this thing. And then they're happening in all these little ways, all down here, but they mainly they relate to these three massive wounds, that I have. What's my fucking point? What's my point? Okay, my point is that we're always in crisis, and that this allows us to understand ourselves, right? And it's about how we process, and it's about how we respond to these things. Okay. I think expansion and contraction are no different to that, right? So if you want to look at it like the crisis, however big or small it is like the beginning stage of that period of contraction, right? Where we go into ourselves, where we don't have enough space or energy to deal with other people's needs, where we might be disabled for a moment in time, and I mean as in unable to move, right? Where we're struggling to engage in life in an open and I don't know, heartfelt or present way, right? And all we're really present to is the crisis that's happening. And I think the thing is that, the process is really, that happens, that kicks off some kind of period of contraction. We contract into ourselves, we contract into our safe space, or maybe it's not particularly safe, but we contract into ourselves. And then once we go through that period, we then expand back out again, right? And we're ready to come back out into the world. We're ready to be present again to all of the amazing things that are happening in the world, and all the people that there are, and all the opportunities, right? And I think the thing is, right, is that everybody loves that period of expansion. Everybody loves that feeling of, I can be anything, I can do anything, I can take hold of all these opportunities. Look how amazing I feel, right? Everybody wants that. But the thing is that you can't live in that. Yeah, because once you live in that, it loses all meaning anyway, and it just becomes normal. And then we're looking for an even greater level of expansion to offset the continuous, period of expansion that we're in. It's kind of the same as like everybody says they want to be happy. You don't want to be happy because once you're happy all the time, happiness becomes normal. And then what do you need to do then to gain happiness from that? Actually, what really we should be searching for is we should be searching for contentment. Contentment, irrespective of whether we're going up or down. Contentment of whether we're in expansion or contraction. Contentment whether or not we're in crises or we're not, right? Just having that kind of base level of contentment. And that's a whole different thing. And I'm not going to get into that now. But that's really what it is that we're looking for. But the point that I'm making here is that nobody really wants to be in that period of contraction. No one wants to be in that phase of contraction, right? I think if you can be present to yourself contracting in that moment, right? You can think about, why is this period of contraction important? How is it benefiting me, right? For me, I feel like contraction is the transmuting, right, of energy that is going to be needed during your next period, next phase of expansion. So there's such a necessity to going through these difficult, dark, contracting periods of time, because what is happening, if we allow it to happen, is that we are processing something that may be difficult, it may be challenging, it may be scary, it may be confronting in some way, right? We're processing this thing and all of the energy that comes from this thing, right? And we're taking that energy, and through contracting into ourselves, we're changing, we're transmuting that energy into something that is going to be a necessity, that is the thing that kickstarts the period of expansion. And I think the thing is that if you can, rather than if we can, yeah, everybody can, rather than trying to run from these times where we feel contracted, where it doesn't feel good, right? If we can not try and run from that, or not try and get out of it, what have I got to do to get out of it? I just want to get out of it. That doesn't feel nice, right? I just tell me what I need to do so I can get out of it. If we can stop running from it, and we can actually sit in it, and we can experience it, and we can allow everything that needs to happen in that period of time, everything that needs to be processed in that period of time, everything that needs to be learned and understood and comprehended, right? Through the processing, through the allowing of it, then number one, you're going to get out of it a lot quicker. Yeah. And you're not going to stagnate, because I feel like so many people just stagnate in their periods of contraction because they don't want to process it. They don't want to face it. They don't want to deal with it. They don't actually want to go through it. They just want it to stop. Right. But if we can allow it to happen, and we can allow ourselves to really be in it and really appreciate that process for what it is, then it's going to give us something. There's a gift. There's a gift that it's going to give us. And that gift is the thing that we need to then move forward into our next phase of expansion. So all of this like avoidance, this distortion, this distraction that we do when we're in these phases, when we're in the phase that doesn't feel very nice, let go of all of that. Like, just let go of it. Let whatever it is wash over you. Let whatever learning it is that you need to learn happen, and let that energy change. Let it transmute while you're in that stage, because it is the thing that sets you up for the next stage. Okay, cool. Said it like 3 times. I'm not going to say it again. Just repeating myself at this point in time. So yeah, I think that's it. Something that I'm grateful for. What else can I say? I'm grateful for all the times that I'm contracting. I'm grateful for all the crises that I have, whether they're big or small, whether they're internal or external, whether I want them or I don't. Like, I'm grateful for those times because I see so clearly that it's only through that I've been able to then get to a more joyful place, a more I don't know, a place that feels better, a place that feels kinder, a place that feels more opportunistic and more open and whatever it is, right? I'm really, really grateful for um, for those times, like, and being able to sit in those times, no matter how difficult it feels. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. So tell me, where in your life are you contracting right now? Can you just let it happen without all the judgment? Drop it in the comments if you're ready to reclaim your process.